It's a very risky road and it's no playbook to this career. I would like to believe that I'm an activist as well because I like to use my film to shine the light to something very important.
Welcome to the series in which I, Jason VERNEY, filmmaker, video artist and writer, introduce to you interesting individuals from the world of filmmaking. In episode 6, we come to you live from Thailand and therefore the current home of our latest guest, Patty Srisuwan, a film producer, actor and entrepreneur.
Everyone just want me to be in the producer position because it's dealing with money, it's dealing with something that people found it not so much fun. But I found it fun. I wanted to see the artist coming out of you more than just, I'm doing exact same shot as Christopher Nolan.
Amongst other subjects covered, we chat about what it's like producing, acting in film when involved in that film in another capacity, and various projects and collaborations. One such project is a recently released short film called Crush, directed by Boris Meshkov. In fact, I was actually fortunate enough to have witnessed a special screening of Crush prior to this interview.
So, yeah, you were saying that when you watch, for me, when I watch the films, I don't look at overall that I wanted to do like that, or I wanted to do actions, or I wanted to do, that kind of dramas or something. I look into like certain shots or certain scenes, certain shots. I know I'm a woman, but I'm really technical. Like when I see certain camera angle or something cool that the directors like put their time in to do it, I feel like I like that kind of thing, that I thought, oh, that's a really cool idea. I like that. Maybe we can adapt that kind of thing into my films. It's like, for example, in Crush, that we use Dutch camera angle to start, and then we decided to do Dutch camera angle again. Yeah. In at the very end. Was very fun for us, and it was fun for to me as an actor. Is fun to me as the producer of the film too, that we can see we play around with different camera angles and stuff. It's kind of fun.
I think I remember you mentioning that at the evening about that particular shot.
Maybe.
Dutch thing.
Yeah, maybe I'm quite technical when it comes to different camera angle, and when it comes to different things. I look for a really, really good talents and new talents to do, like Nat. This is my first film that I get to work with him. It was really interesting. He's our DP, and he's really young, he's really talented. He's very driven, and he know his stuff, which I like, That's the thing. Like, if I hire some DP, I want them to know their stuff, more or as much as I do. Absolutely.
Actually, it's funny you say driven, because I think one of his inspirations was Drive, or at least the director of Only God Forgives and Drive. Yeah. So his what was his name? Nicolas Winding Ref. Yeah, I always say that.
Yeah. He's really talented. I think his way of looking at things is original. That's the thing. Like, a lot of people trying to copy something, and to me, if you're an artist, I wanted to see the artist coming out of you more than just, I'm doing exact same shot as Christopher Nolan. Then why don't I just go watch Christopher Nolan, right? Like, to me, originality is everything. As a producer, I'm looking for the artist that can do something original, right?
So we are in Ekkamai, Bangkok, and we are speaking to Patty Srisuwan. And she is an actor, producer, entrepreneur, also a singer, executive producer. I could go on, but... And she's got an interesting sort of backstory regarding life, upbringing. But I don't know if you just want to introduce yourself a kind of one-off, one-line way, or
One line way. Oh my God.
just tell us, maybe just tell us who you are, what you do.
Yeah, so hi everybody. Thank you for having me. Yeah, this is a fun meet. But what I do, I produce film. I like, and I act in a lot of my films as well. Now more than ever, because I want to explore that talent size of me. And actually I graduate from Brigham Young University in acting. So, why not, right? But I'm so good with business that everyone just want me to be in the producer position, because it's dealing with money, it's dealing with something that people found it not so much fun. But I found it fun, so.
Yeah, you do strike me as someone who does find the fun in everything. And
Yes.
maybe that's why you also do a bit of singing as well. And, it's not just, you don't just stick to one thing. So maybe that's what it is. If you didn't find the fun in stuff, you would probably only do one thing because it was a job, Maybe because it wouldn't.
Yeah, well, I stick with filmmaking, of course. That's something I love. But absolutely, I like a different challenge. I like different things, and I like something that excites me. When people come to me, when I met all these talented people, and why not, right? If they come to me with something exciting and something interesting, I would be like, yeah, sure, let's do it. Even Boris came to me with the script Crush. I thought it was kind of is horror, is something I never done, and tons of blood and all that stuff. So yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, we're talking about the film Crush. It's a 3-minute short film by Boris. And actually, I remember when you did your little talk at the Asia Pillars event, and Nat, the cameraman, he was saying that I think he said this, that he wasn't even expecting the blood. Was it him who said that, or was it you as well?
I don't know. I know that there is a blood there, because Boris came to me, first thing was all about blood. He was asking me, first question was like, Patty, do you know anyone who can do blood? I was like, sure, I do know one lady who can do blood really, really well, and we're so lucky to have her. She's super, super busy, but she won 2 Supanahong awards, so it's equally to like Oscar in Thailand. So that's kind of amazing to have her that night, to be able to do the blood for us so fast in our request. Yeah.
Okay, well, I just wanted to, you mentioned briefly about the university, which is in Hawaii.
Yeah.
But I wondered if, because you're multi-talented, I wondered if basically what stage of your career did the acting and producing come at? Because it wasn't all at university, or was it? Did you learn it side by side, or was it one later than the other?
Was kind of both. Well, I learned a lot of things from university as well, acting elements of it, absolutely. I get to explore. I have really, really wonderful professor, Dr. Ferry. He's super amazing, and my English was not very good back then, so I feel bad for him to have to put up with me. But I've learned so much from him, and during that time, because in university they don't make movies, but I decided to make a movie anyway. We have camera, we shot the films, and I have really, really good team of people, and be able to convince all my friends, classmates to be in a film was kind of funny. Yeah, so it's a lot of fun, I think it's come together, and the more I get into it, the more films I do, I just it's just more part that I get to do, help produce, because if you're not working for a big company like Paramount or Disney or whatever, you kind of have a little bit of an independent spin. You have to kind of do it yourself, unless you have to be hired by somebody else. Well, we all know. So yeah, being a producer is kind of part of it.
Okay, yeah. Well, your English is fine, more than fine. And I mean, for someone that's been, I mentioned this briefly earlier, but you've had an interesting upbringing in the fact that you've been in different countries, and you know you've been in Canada for a while, but Hawaii, and actually, how did you end up in Hawaii University out of all the universities there were? And did you get that university entrance from being in Canada or from your Thai years?
Because I'm Thai, I'm here in Thailand, and I applied for a scholarship. I know that this one, it's just randomly too, like it's luck mixed with all kinds of stuff. I got the scholarship to study, full scholarship to study in Hawaii. I know my parents was not too keen on me being so far away, but got a scholarship full of them. Which is what I'm talking about. Full is not just the tuition, but dorm and food and everything. It's just crazy. I'm really, really lucky. I think I have done something great last life to get that. And I got into it, and it was a perfect place because it's a melting pot of culture, and I love meeting people from all over the world. So it's a really great place to be.
Yeah, well, I'm being from the UK originally myself. I know about expensive university fees, and actually in South Korea, so many people go to university, and when I explain to them sometimes, that the UK, it's not that everyone goes, it costs a hell of a lot. But I did read as well, I know as well from the other day, but you're as equally passionate about film projects, but also non-profit organisations. And I tried looking into it. I know you've done quite a lot of work, but is there one particular group or charity or some as kind of cause that you are interested in or you would like to help more? Is there something that you really like to help more with?
Well, right now, because I'm in Thailand, and one of the problems that I saw is the stray animal. The stray dogs is one of the big thing for me. I am an animal lover. So one of the film I made went to Cannes. I came back home just for a visit, and I met this wonderful, wonderful human being. His name is Pichai. He live close to me. His job is to sell flowers. So he doesn't make too much money, but he spent his whole life taking care of the stray dogs in the whole, he's taking care of the stray dog in the whole street of Lausanne, which I'm like so amazed. And I said, can I make a film about you? And he was like, what about your life and what you do? So I made a little bit of a documentary. It's super easy, and I got it on like I think it was like super cheaply made, but I got it. The film went to Cannes because of the topic was so interesting, and it's such an issue. Like I said in Asia Pillar the other day, that I, as a filmmaker, I would like to believe that I'm an activist as well, because I like to use my film to shine the light to something very important, so I like to do that. And all my films tend to have that kind of things. And if you talk about like some kind of charity or something that I wanted to do, would probably be something to do with stray dogs. And I know there is one soy dog foundation that I love, so it's really nice things that people do around the city and around the country to make things better, So
yeah. Is that I think that's the Soy Dog Foundation is it originating in Phuket?
I think so.
Yeah, I think I've heard of that. And talking about different countries, you've had a film that you were involved with appear at Cannes. You've also had one at Holly Shorts, which I've heard of. and of course the London Film Festival. We spoke about that earlier. Did you say you'd had one at the BFI?
No,
sorry.
Not a BFI. I was trying to stick with the US.
Yeah. Well, there's a big enough market in the US.
Yeah, market and then that Cannes one was kind of like out of the blue, which is kind of a great success. And but yeah, it is. I got a lot of recognition from the story called Sweet Oil as well. Sweet Oil is a very interesting story too. It's about like single mom's life. Like I said, like every films, I trying to shine the spotlight into something that people don't really. They might see it every day, but they don't really get it. Like, you know what I mean? They didn't. Yeah. I want them to be in their shoes for a little bit of time. Moments in Space Time is all about immigrants and the immigrants' life. I just want the audience to experience that for the 2 hours that they're in. So. Yeah, something like that.
Well, what the single mother thing, was that Thailand related or in Canada or US or?
It's mostly Canada and US, right? Because it's a lot of divorce rate, and because I work with the non-profit organization with kids that a lot of them affected by family that is like single parents. I'm not saying that single parents are a bad thing. No, some do really wonderful job at taking care of their kids, and you know, relationship end, that's unfortunate, but what I'm saying is like the certain lifestyle or certain things, like the silver lining that come out of it, and people don't see the struggling of the children. Those are kind of things that I shine a light to, because I work closely with the children and kids at that time. So I thought, hey, that would be an interesting story to tell.
Well, actually, moving from children to your younger years, perhaps, and teens, you used to be you appeared in numerous productions on TV, including a TV talk show. And I wonder if you can just mention a bit about that, and how long was that for? I mean, teens is obviously a few years, but what part of your youth was it?
Well, since I was young, I wanted to be in this industry, and there is no question about that. So I was trying to strive to be able to find, you know, opportunity that I can do that kind of thing, whether it's acting. I in several TV shows here and there, and the movies, and I was a VJ for the Channel V channel, so that was kind of fun for me. It's nice to, as a young teen, to explore that kind of thing and you know, like start it up and explore that kind of thing that you like, right?
Yeah. Well, that's interesting as well, because I do hear that sometimes youngsters on teens, or especially youngsters, they might get pushed into that, you know, and they don't actually have a say, and then it can affect them later on. But with you, it was all choice.
Me. It was all me. Yeah. It was all my choice. My parents don't even know about it. Like some of them, I just go for audition myself. I grew up here on Sukhumvit Road, 22, and they have like Grammy building there. I would go for audition myself after school, and my parents didn't even know about it. And yeah, because they're a little bit old school, so they want me to be. My mom want me to be a dentist. My God, I never want to look at teeth. I don't know why she want me to be a dentist.
It's a bit random.
It's super random, but yeah, like, you know, it's all. I'm very driven since I was young. Like, I know what I want, and sometimes I don't know how to get it, but I just trying to throw all my eggs in a basket to trying to hit something. But yeah, that was my young teen.
Yeah, so we're bouncing backwards and forwards through topics here, but I want to touch on obviously more of your film stuff, and in particular, or at least your film production techniques. And when you are producing something, be it a short or the film space, what was it?
Moments in Space Time. Moments in Space Time.
Yeah, Moments in Space Time. How did you scout around for funding, and was that an easy process, or was it half self-funded or a co-production?
No, it was super hard. I think the hardest part in producing the films or the project is from the first initial start is to find the funding for the project. A lot of people said, yes, the production part is hard. It's not even as hard as how to get the funding, because production part is hard when you do it's physical. It's physical, you know. Sometimes you go for 14 hours, 16 hours, 12 hours, whatever. It's tough that way, but I think a lot initial start was from the funding. So what I did is I have some investor. I talked to some investor because I'm so connected with business people so much that I connected with investor in Thailand, Canada, and different places. So yeah, I always make myself available and open for those opportunity. And and the selling part is also very difficult. So I would say the worst part of getting everything going was the first one, and then because some people have the project or the script for 6 years, 7 years in order for them to make the project happen, you know what I mean? It's very possible. And selling part is also unknown as well. So it's all business, as you can see, you know. Is the art and the fun happen in the middle, but the rest of the part is very business oriented. Yeah, well, that's good to know, because this podcast is essentially it's the micro budget filmmakers, but it does we've spoken to people from all sort of ends of the spectrum, and so that's useful information. And I suppose I could finish it with something that you're currently working on. What are you currently working on, or what couple have you? I guess you've got more than one thing you're currently working on, either writing or producing or starring in or about to appear in. Is a couple of things. Yeah, I'm working on a vampire project right now. It's a sci-fi kind of. Well, is this a sci-fi? More like horror or whatever. So that's something that I'm working on very heavily right now, and it's coming along really beautifully at the moment. I cannot say too much of details of what we are and where we are, but the project is beautiful and the film's gonna come out really nicely. I'm trying to secure the stars. I'm trying to get that going as much as possible right now. So probably this 2024 it would be will be heavily focused on that project. And I have another project in India, which is a huge project. That one is historical story. And you know how Indian film is, like they have thousands of people dancing and on a horse and everything. So that's a huge setup and preparation that I have to do. So
is it like an Indian biopic, like a biography about somebody?
Yeah, it's a biography. You're absolutely right. It's a biography about like one of the king that it's like old king that they have and stuff.
And I'm guessing, I won't mention any names, but I'm guessing the vampire / sci-fi / whatever is maybe in co-production with another company that I met the other night, or is it not?
I might have to bring some people in. Yes.
You know who I am.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I didn't want to keep you too long, but there's other things I could ask you about.
Give me one more.
Yeah, I'm happy
Bonus.
to. I'm just think. So, actor, producer. Have you acting, producing, writing? Have you had many chances?
I don't do writing.
Oh,
because my English is so terrible.
But it does say that, by the way, somewhere.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no, not somewhere. I found it. Well, I'm sure I did. It doesn't matter.
I have a team to write my script.
Okay.
Yeah.
So acting and producing.
Yep.
Do you find? I mean, it's not like you're directing and acting, which would be quite tricky. But producing and acting, how does your mind work with that? Because you're producing something that or co-producing something that you're gonna be a part of on screen. So does that enhance it? When the selling it.
Yeah, well, like Boris was, when we first started doing Crush, he was kind of worried about that too. But it was so easy for me because I'm a multitasker, so it's super easy for me because most of the job of the producer happened before the shoot. It happened before the shoot. I prepare everybody and every person, and I have my assistant taking care of like making sure that got delivered and everything, and the acting part for me is coming naturally. And it was definitely, once you're on set, once you're in costume and makeup and everything, you're pretty much on in your character. So to me, being a producer and actor together is a really good balance, and I don't think it's a conflict at all. I found it's quite easy for both. Yeah, I just have to prepare everything ahead of time really well.
Yeah. I mean, if it was like a huge budget thing, like a Hollywood thing, then of course, if you're a producer and you're actor, you've almost got to, you're doing it for the money, well, for that kind of thing. But we are talking, you do big projects.
Yeah.
Just saying that I wonder, because you hear so much about acting and directing.
Even Viola Davis is a producer on the movie. There's a lot of actors that actually produce their own film. Even I believe that Nicolas Cage also produced his own film for the Dream Scenario. That's a new movie that he did have right now. So yeah, I think a lot of big. Brad Pitt produced his own film. So yeah, this is producing part is like happened beforehand a lot of time. But if there's some question popped up, of course you answer. You're right there on set, so it's perfect.
And it's interesting you said about activism earlier, because in my film projects, or at least one, or my dramas, my fiction and documentary, they touch on that as well, and it does inspire me. The people that we should be making art about. So that actually, I don't always like the thing when someone says, "What's the message?" But in that respect, it's it can only be good, sort of thing. Maybe one other thing, seeing as we've got one.
Yeah,
here.
Go ahead.
Just because I did mention briefly, I didn't really go off. I didn't really touch on it anymore, because you're part Thai, part Indian, you've been in Canada and you've been involved with all these projects, and you said about an Indian one. What about, because you've also got Portuguese descent somewhere,
right?
So have you got any project that's related to that, or anything that really appeals to you?
I don't touch that because it's so I don't know much about them. I don't know, even though like my mom's half part Portuguese, but she speaks Thai, and then we live in Thailand for so long, so I don't have too much connections. I never even been to Portugal, so no, that's not something that I know much about to be able to deliver.
No,
something.
That's fine. Well, I'm glad you spoke in English today and not Thai, because my Thai is like minimal.
Terrible.
To say that. She said it, and she's right. And seeing as the traffic is at a standstill next to us, there's going to be just a few moments before it all
goes crazy again.
Goes crazy. So we're going to put this to a close, really. And I really appreciate your time, and maybe we can talk again at a later date.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Having me anytime. I enjoy talking about films and inspiring and new people and new new filmmakers that want to get into, not just filmmakers, artists to get into this industry. It's a very risky road, and it's no playbook to this career. But I want to be able to help someone else if I can.
Okay, well, thanks, Patty, for your time, and I look forward to seeing more from you, and we'll put some links to your information and websites and IMDb and what have you on at the bottom of this episode. So yeah, thanks very much. Koppon Kap.
Bye, everyone.
You've been listening to the MBF Micro Budget Filmmakers podcast. And if you want to continue to have access to filmmaker tips, events and exclusive interviews, do sign up for the next Plasm Productions newsletter. You'll be able to read exclusive interviews, attend workshops and ultimately mingle with like-minded creative folk, as well as speak to more great people in the world of film.